Round 7 of Monster Energy AMA Supercross is now complete. From AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas, on a Triple Crown night of racing, we welcome you to the SMX Insider post-race show. Alongside the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael, I am Todd Harris, and what a night. Congratulations to the big winners in the 250 East class. It goes the way of Nate Thrasher. What a performance. His teammate Jordan Smith joins him on the podium with Hunter Lawrence salvaging a 3rd place. And in the 450, Cooper Webb back in the mix again, making a late pass on Chase Sexton to punch his ticket to the top of the box. Sexton finishing in 2nd, with Eli Tomac finishing in 3rd. All right, RC, what a night. I know how much you love Triple Crown racing, and again, it lives up to the hype.
Yeah, I mean, how could you not like that as a fan? I mean, I know they get a lot of pushback from that format from the racers and the teams, but man, does it put on a darn good show, and it was a lot of fun. I mean, where do you start from the 250 to the carnage in the 3rd race to the 450 and just the back and forth, and Cooper Webb coming in clutch there at the end, just an absolute warrior in the points championship in that 450 class. A lot to look forward to, and like I've always said, I feel like championship starts in Daytona, and we're what's 5 points separating 3 riders. It's getting good.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights from Arlington inside a near sold-out house at AT&T Stadium. 250 East, Hunter Lawrence, race number 1. His brother in attendance as well, loaning his voice to some of the commentary, and Hunter Lawrence doing Hunter Lawrence things.
Clutch start. And this guy, I mean, both the Lawrence brothers, they are good starters inherently. I mean, he's just so cool, calm, collected. But I got to tell you, 29 was able to keep it close. That's Hardy Munoz. And boom, look at that. Just gets absolutely drilled. But yeah, but he comes back and races all 3 races.
That was amazing. Hayden Deegan taking his lumps a little bit right here.
Yeah, we talked about it on the broadcast. He comes out of the corner, and then his left foot comes off the foot peg. And he rode that thing out for a lot longer than I could have ever dreamed of riding it out. And it was an easy dismount for him.
At just 17 years of age, and Hunter Lawrence would come around, take the checkered flag. And it's like golf, folks. You want to have the lowest cumulative score, so a 1 for Lawrence. Race number 2, a different beast.
Man, this start, I love this start. The big sweeping left corner, and then what I feel is a massive rhythm section here. But look at the young phenom, Hayden Deegan, getting a good start.
And then the story of the night really was the Monster Energy Yamahas that were running out in front, and Hunter not immune to mistakes. And here it is right now with his brother on the call, just gets run up high.
Yeah, he wasn't anticipating that run up from coming up through the whoops by Nate Thrasher, and Nate Thrasher just stuck in there, and Thrasher was on it all night long. He had some really, really good speed. I mean, he kept Hunter honest.
Now this is the part where his brother called him out and said, I think, idiot.
Yeah.
Why was he pushing it like that?
Well, he had so much speed, and I go back to that. He didn't have to go, he didn't have to be as aggressive as he needed to right there. They had plenty of time left in the race, but that'll be something that he'll learn and not do again.
How about Jordan? What a run for him, getting on top. Jordan Smith winning race number 2, and that really set the stage for race number 3. Keep your eye on the 96.
So he goes. He's not a perfect start, but he gets in there probably a bike length too hard. He goes down. Nothing really he could do, and then Max Anstey's nowhere Max Anstey could go. Runs right into him. Look at Max trying to pick the bike up off of him. Look at the hustle by Anstey. I love that. And Hunter Lawrence.
And Hunter does a great job of salvaging, but it was Nate Thrasher. Remember, he just got inched out at the line by Hunter Lawrence, and he comes back, and then this big crack. Michael Mosiman goes down.
Yeah,
Jordan Smith goes down. Look at the gridlock.
Yeah, Mosiman goes down, and that was a slippery corner. Just leans the bike over, and there was nowhere for Jordan Smith to go. He just absolutely pummels Michael Mosiman.
And Hunter Lawrence continues to work his way through the field. Remember, he was beaten down on the start, trying to get in there, and we're thinking at this point, oh, it's gonna be no problem. Nate Thrasher puts it into the tough blocks.
Well, these things started to get really tricky as the night wore on. I feel like forward grip was really a struggle for these guys, and he just loses balance. And this was the last lap for Jordan Smith, his teammate. He goes down. He didn't lose many spots, so that was a positive.
and we're trying to figure out who's in front, who's going to get the overall, and Jeremy Martin comes through, telling Will afterwards, like, I didn't even know I won. He had to check up, wait, checkered flag, no one's in front of me. Wait a second. So congratulations to him. He wins the battle, but it is Nate Thrasher that wins the war.
What a ride. Like I said, Nate Thrasher, yes, he got a gift there with Hunter Lawrence going down, but he had really good speed all night long, and he earned this one.
So there is the podium, 250 East, Triple Crown Racing, as we take a look at the scorecards. And it's Nate Thrasher that gets the 7 points and the win. Smith and Lawrence tie. The tiebreaker goes the way of Jordan Smith. But Hunter Lawrence does a great job of salvaging a top 3 position. What a performance after the race. Daniel Blair speaking with the winner.
Thank you, Todd. I'm with a very happy Nate Thrasher, who did hobble up to the podium. And Nate, we talked about it in the entire show, what you're battling with your knee injury, and of course 2 weeks ago in Tampa, the dramatic finish. What's the last couple of weeks been like for you, and how did you manage to get through this tonight? I know this is not very easy for you.
Yeah, it was a dig the whole night. That second main had a little mishap and with it, and it's just been bugging me, but it's no excuse. We should have won that last main, a little bummed on that, but the way I'm riding right now is unbelievable, and I got the spin to win every night, and I haven't had that before. And we're just keeping building. We got a little points back tonight, and we just got to keep fighting and get back in this championship.
Congratulations. With rides like that, you'll be right back in there.
And an added bonus, he punches his ticket to the SMX playoffs, so good on him. And Ricky, what a night of racing. Topsy-turvy, up and down. We take a look now at the overall 250 East point standings. It is still Hunter Lawrence on 73 points, 11 clear of Max Anstey, Nate Thrasher, Jeremy Martin, and Hayden Deegan, your top 5.
Yeah, notables, look at George Smith. He gains 2. Nate Thrasher gains 4 positions, so that was a big points night from Nate Thrasher's standpoint, and Max Anstey still holding on there.
I thought what was amazing after the whole thing was done in the interview with Hunter Lawrence, and he was down and down hard. We saw him 2 bikes on top of him, and he still had a smile on his face. He said, you know what? I came out of it unscathed. It was unfortunate, but the way he went to work, Ricky, and I think if it was a 15-minute race instead of a 10, he may come back and get the win.
Yeah, certainly with how these guys were going down. I mean, absolute mayhem coming down. But here's another replay. And I feel like he just went a little too hard, but he had to, because there's a whole shot at stake. And then he's going to pick it up.
Once he gets,
removed from the
untrapped. Oh my goodness.
Then he just starts picking these guys off 1, 2, 3 at a time. Passing dudes sitting on the tough blocks. Ends up on the podium. And the reason, Todd, that I think that he wasn't too disappointed in the turnout was, number one, he had an awesome, fantastic ride coming up from behind, but it really wasn't a bad point stay from the championship standpoint. So you're looking at big picture, and I assume that's what he's doing, knowing that his riding coach, Johnny O'Mara, who was my mentor and coach, you know, that's what they're looking at. Do they want to win every race? Of course they do, but big picture in a night like this with the chaos that was ensued, it wasn't a bad night.
It was impressive indeed. Also impressive, Jeremy Martin, as he comes back and wins race number 3. What a performance for him. Didn't even know he had the win. Let's check in with Will Christian.
Wasn't that reaction just fantastic on the podium? It was so good to see that. And he was genuine. Like, he did not know that that was the situation he was in, but you could tell how important that was to him. And why? Well, this is a big confidence boost. And looking forward here as these guys move on for their East Coast rounds, what's that going to do for Jeremy? Because I'm going to sandwich it together with some information that I heard from his team, Muck-Off FXR Club MX Yamaha, earlier on today. They did a ton of testing. A lot of suspension changes in that off weekend while we saw the West Coast guys in Oakland there. And they felt like Jeremy had really made big leaps and bounds. They're sort of working with him. He's been off, you know, the gate. He hasn't been racing for an entire year, so they feel like he's getting race ready. They're working with him as his confidence grows. And so this is kind of a real collab between him and the team. So my point being, if you add that confidence that he's had just comfort with his bike to then, you know, a good shot in the arm here, bottom line is, whether he realized it or not, he had the checkers there in that final round. Are we going to see a veteran like Jeremy Martin just kind of go, okay, right, I'm back in this? Yes, he's pretty far out of the points there, but he's a fun rider to watch, guys. And, you know, we need these guys getting in the mix as we move through the rounds. We don't have that many rounds for the 250 riders, and if Jeremy can sort of get the boost at this point, it'll be fun to see what he can do with it.
Yeah, great insight. Thank you very much, Will, for all your hard work here. As we want to remind you, every Thursday, the SMX Insider, and that's on the SuperMotocross.com YouTube channel. Jason Wygant, Daniel Blair breaking down what happened in Arlington, Triple Crown Racing, and of course, they will look forward to Daytona coming up in round number 8. All right, so that's 250 East, Ricky. Take a deep breath, and now we turn our attention to 450. Coming into this one, remember, Eli Tomac won this event, the Triple Crown, last year, but so much talent. We talk about the parity, and you were saying how much you love this season because there's so many good guys at the top of the heap.
Yeah, there's a lot of top guys that have an opportunity to win, but now I feel like Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb, Chase Sexton are the guys. They've established themselves as the championship guys. I think they're going to take it down to Salt Lake City, your favorite race. But nevertheless, we're at a point in the series where it's a mental game.
Yeah.
They're all fast. They all know what to do. You have two-time champs, Eli Tomac, Cooper Webb. Chase Sexton is not, so he has some growing to do. He has that downright speed to get the job done, but still some little hiccups here and there. You think about the points that he's lost along the way. So anything can happen. I really feel like all those three guys are on the ropes, and it's a mental game. It really is. Which is the guy that isn't going to slip up, and which is the guy who's going to have it between the ears?
Truly organic drama as we take a look at all three races on a Triple Crown night of racing. Race number 1, and I'll tell you what, all eyes on the red plate of Eli Tomac, the reigning champion, points leader. Could he get it done again, back-to-back years here in Dallas? Well, this start said, oh, yeah, he probably can.
Yeah, incredible start, and just shows you the confidence that he has in his motorcycle, starting way outside like that, giving up all that space in real estate. Yeah, I know that he's able to take the wide line, but man, you still got to get off the gate against these good guys, and that was early on. Barsha doing Barsha things, giving the 23 of Chase Sexton the business. That wouldn't last long.
Yeah, you talk about the speed of Chase Sexton, and sometimes he doesn't need a lot of speed, just puts his bike in the right position, and then he would check out.
But I got to tell you, even though this was a great win for the first race, look at 94 and Ken Roczen. He had good speed all day long, was fast in qualifying practice.
Race number 2, and maybe the man that needed a great start more than anyone else, Jason Anderson. Remember, he finished on the deck at the start of race number 1, finishing with an 8th place, so he came back with a vengeance.
Yeah, incredible ride that second race for Anderson. Really, no one had anything for him. And look at what a save by Chase Sexton. He comes out of that corner, loses rear end traction, and man, it takes a lot of strength to keep that bike upright and not get tangled up with someone else or tangle someone else up with him.
Remember, Jason Anderson on probation, so you pointed this out during the race. Playing nice, not being rough as he maybe would have been in the past. Is that 6-month probation? He's going to just, keep clean.
Like you said, think twice and play nice. 23 in the one battling it.
21, El Hombre gets it done in race number 2, so he would be sitting now on 9 points out of 2 races, and it comes down to the third and final race, and what a start.
Well, it was, like I said, Eli Tomac. I'm just amazed. That just shows you the confidence he has in the ability of the starts that they can get on that bike, and I'm like, oh man, this is going to be good. And then there you go. Sexton lays the bike down. That inside rut wasn't established yet at the time.
Not the only guy though having problems with grip.
Forced error. Rarely do you see this from Eli Tomac this point in his career. He's just so in tune with the bike and what's underneath him.
That was a first to fourth mistake.
That's right, first to fourth and a massive loss. Great save by Anderson. I thought he was gone. It was a bigger loss than the championship points for Eli Tomac, and you can see the two coming. But this was chaos right here.
Unbelievable.
Guys going everywhere. Chase was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nothing that lapper could have done. He tried to get ready to go the inside, and man, just wrong place, wrong time.
Cooper Webb taking the checkers on the third race, and he would go 5, 2, 1, a fifth, a second, and wins on the last race to get it done for KTM and his squad. What a performance. Cooper Webb gets the win. Sexton and Tomac gets on the podium as well. So we take a look at the overall results. Look at your golf card. 5-2-1, that's pretty strong, and that's 8 points, even with Chase Sexton, who went 3-3-2, but he gets the tiebreaker because he won the third and final race. Eli Tomac trending in the wrong direction, Ricky. 1, 4, 6, but still manages to get on 11th and get on the podium. In the big picture, that's huge. And now we sit it down on the track once again in Will Christian.
Yes, he did. Congratulations, Coop. Wow, what an end to that race that was. You put yourself in just the perfect position there. What went through your mind when all that happened and everything just changed in a heartbeat?
Yeah, you never know in racing, right? I mean, I didn't put myself in a great position at the start. I made a mistake off the rhythm section. It really cost me, but man, the track was really tricky. You could get caught up if you tried to really push, and super edgy. It looked really good, but it was pretty slick underneath. So just stuck my head down and was behind Jason. I felt like I was a little bit faster, but it was a little tough to pass, and he made that mistake. I went for it, and then I saw I was catching Chase, so I knew I needed him for the win. And yeah, I guess it's just hitting. When I got off the track, I was just like, what the heck just happened? So I'm glad that it all worked out. It was a great night of racing, and you know, it's great to get another win. Want to give it up to the good Lord. My Red Bull KTM team, Carlos, my wife, Thor, Alpine Star, Bell Helmets, 100%, and these Texas fans are great.
You find yourself just 2 points back in the championship. Congratulations, Cooper.
Very familiar ground for Cooper being in the championship hunt. Look at this, Ricky. 162 points back. Chase Sexton only 5 points back.
Well, this is brewing up to be a really good one, Todd. I mean, I really believe this is going to go down to the wire. At least that's what I'm hoping for. These three guys to keep it together is going to be something special to watch, and we are to the point in that series where it is really, truly a mental game for these guys. And it's funny, isn't it funny how those top three guys, after all the chaos that ensued tonight, they were the top three guys on the podium. And I think that we're going to see a lot of that. It brings me back to my 2006 days with James Stewart and Chad Reed. It's just that type of season.
Something you had to deal with throughout your career, and that is lap riders.
Oh.
And I know they try to do their best to get out of the way. They want to race as well. There's two mindsets going there. Someone say, hey, get in my way, I'm leading. And the guys say, hey, you know, I'm here too. I made it to the main. I'm one of the 22 best in the world. How do you deal with it?
Well, you just have to look ahead, and things were happening so fast here tonight. I mean, this was towards the end of the race. You can see, I mean, that was Chisholm going crazy.
And look on the outside.
Yeah, and there's just nowhere you could go. But when a track is like that was Grant Harlan. Just he tried to do the right thing.
Yeah.
But everything is just, it's so tight. I really believe that if Chisholm wasn't down, Sexton could have gone around Harlan. And yeah, this was the determining factor. I don't know if Cooper Webb would have caught Chase Sexton and been able to pass him. Maybe could have caught him, but I don't know if he'd have been able to pass him. Just Chase Sexton probably would have been playing some defense. But nevertheless, it made it for a great race up here, and it tightened things up.
Oh, no question about it. And we talk about the lap riders. We talked about the track all night long. From our vantage point, the dirt looked tacky. It looked good and all that stuff, but we saw a lot of guys washing out. Let's get a track report from Daniel Blair.
Well, guys, being on the podium and talking to the riders is revealing in a lot of ways, because after the race is over, they kind of express their feelings. And every single guy I talked to talked about the whoops and how difficult they were in that final race. And they said that the track got really slick. It got down to the base, so they felt like they were sliding around on ice. And now I'm over here looking at the whoops. And yeah, you could see how shiny it is up that rut up the middle. This right side has a kind of a similar feel to it. And it's really slick. When I actually kick the dirt around a little bit, I feel it, and it's not as tacky as it was in qualifying, so it's definitely made its way down. And every rider said that this was a difficult part of the track. You saw Jordan Smith have his issues, Nate Thrasher have his, and then I watched the 450 main event from the very first whoop and watched, and every single guy just danced all the way through all night long. You saw the big mistakes from Jason Anderson late, and in a Triple Crown format, obviously the format itself is challenging the intensity, but when you have a track that is so good in race 1 and then kind of starting to go away in race 2, and then by race 3 is slick and cupped out and there's holes everywhere, and then you have a whoop section like this, it just makes it that much more tough. So yeah, it was awesome to be on the podium and get that truth from the guys and said how difficult it was. So I wanted to show it to you. And yeah, this is very, very tough, especially in this format, but the best win, and that's the ultimate story here tonight, is the best get through it. And on to Daytona, but man, Arlington, that was a good one.
Yeah, no question about it. Arlington once again did not disappoint. Want to remind you, you can watch everything all things Daytona next week. Of course, we want to kick things off at 1:30 on Peacock. That'll be race day live. And then the racing, round number 8 from Daytona, 7 o'clock on Peacock. SMX Insider post-race, you'll get that on SuperMotocross.com. Of course, we've mentioned James Stewart joining the broadcast booth, and the re-airing coming on CNBC 1 a.m. Monday, March 6th. All right, Ricky, so we put Arlington to bed round 7. Now we look to round number 8. I know you love you some Daytona. You've had a lot of success there, and the track is going to be amazing.
Well, certainly it's the toughest Supercross track physically on the tour. And here's a trap map of it. A lot like last year. And I've always wanted to have the same track 2 years in a row. All forms of motorsports, they do it. Why shouldn't we do it this way? And last year was so exciting. I mean, coming down to the wire, especially that 450 race with Eli Tomac and Cooper Webb. So hopefully it's a lot of the same this year. Nevertheless, it's my home state. Always love going there. And then, like you said, the history of my success at Daytona, although Eli Tomac has much more, one more win than I do. But in all forms of motocross, it's sacred grounds. It's the world center of racing.
That'll be amazing. Ricky likes Daytona because he never has to pay for a meal. He's such a legend there. Well, that'll wrap things up for this edition of the SMX Insider post-race show as we turn our attention to round number 8 of Monster Energy AMA Supercross, coming to you next weekend from Daytona. So on behalf of Will Christian, Daniel Blair, and the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael, I'm Todd Harris. For our entire hard-working crew here in Arlington, we say good night from AT&T Stadium. We will see you next week in Daytona.